Alright, so before we get into the video, a couple of people asked me what my thoughts were on the game last night, and well, this pretty much sums it up. So yeah, pretty much that, mixed with a little bit of frustration and I don't know, disappointment. I might give my actual thoughts and opinions in another video. Let me know if you guys want to see that. But yeah, let's get right into the vid. So since the cutscene's been released or been put out, there's been divisive feedback, which is always the case with these games. The worst comments I've seen are probably the ones saying that Rugby League Live 3 looks better. There's also been comments about the player models and saying the gameplay will be crap, acting as if they've already played the game. So I thought, let's showcase just how much better Rugby League Live 3 looks. So in this first screenshot, we have Cameron Smith getting ready to kick off. You know, like I said in my previous video, the environment in Rugby League Live 4 looks unfinished, so I think it's a little unfair to compare that. So what's left to compare? Pretty much the player models and the faces. And I don't know about you guys, but to me, it's night and day the differences between the two. First of all, the player models themselves. Their bodies look a lot more sleek. They look more realistic than what they were in Rugby League Live 3. Everyone looked a little bulky. I think the player models themselves are unfinished too in the Rugby League Live 4 little cinematic that we got. You'll find that from certain angles the players looked a little glossy, and on their head they looked too glossy as well. Here's another lineup of the players, Queensland this time, and it isn't even debatable. Big Ant said that visually it's next level, and looking at these screenshots it's definitely next level. You can tell who everyone is, especially on this Queensland picture. There's actually a couple of players on the New South Wales team that don't really look like themselves. In particular, Brett Morris said Nathan Peets, but that can easily be fixed in the Rugby League Live 4 fan hub. Here's another team photo, this time with New South Wales. It's quite evident right here just how much the player models have improved. It's good to see that those Brock Lesnar traps that everyone has is finally gone. And finally, if you're not convinced, these last two screenshots, Stevie Wonder himself will probably tell you just how much better they look. These close-ups of Smith and Cordner truly showcase just how big the leap forward was. The only thing that put me off in the cutscene, I touched on it a little earlier, and it's the glossy texture on the players. It takes away a little realism. Also, like I said earlier, it's really evident from certain angles, but I'm gonna mark that down to being unfinished. So yeah, that's pretty much all I compared. Don't worry about the negativity and don't let it sway you from purchasing the game. Ross himself said that this isn't the final product we'd be getting. And still, although it isn't the final product, it still looks pretty damn good. I was talking to my subs about the divisive reaction, and honestly, there's nothing you can do about it. There's always going to be those people that just find something to hate on. Part of the problem is that they're not educated enough to know that an EA or 2K looking game, it just isn't a realistic expectation to have. You'd be setting yourself up for disappointment if you keep going into these games with that type of mindset. I'm sure if you were to compare the budgets between the developers, it'll probably be like comparing beer to champagne. Although I'd rather compare Big Ant to a fine wine. They've looked better and better as time has gone by. So in closing, I'm still super hyped about the game coming out. There's no need to panic about how the game looks right now. And finally, if you still think Rugby League Live 3 looks better, I've got 4 words for you. Pull your head in.